So I am here with John Sharkey in the dissection lab of Dundee University in Scotland. And John is going to be one of the speakers at a symposium in Prague next year. John, how did you first get in contact with Ida Rolf's work? When was that and in which circumstances?
Well, I was very young actually when I first came across the work of Ida Rolf. I was in Ireland, of course. She was based in the USA, but I was reading that information. I was also reading the work of Bernard McFadden, of Stanley Leaf, who was the uncle of Leon Chatow. And in reading her work, it really fascinated me because I loved the message that she was giving, and of course a focus on fascia, which I called at the time connective tissue. People were really not using the term fascia, or if I did use that term, I would have lost people. People wouldn't have known what I was talking about. And I really have three, we'd say, foundational lenses I teach based upon ontology, which would be, explaining the nature of being. I would teach from on the basis of phylogeny. In other words, where did it come from? And that's heavily influenced, we'll say, by Charles Darwin, a little bit by Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, but not. I mean, his ideas are proven to be, for the most part, wrong, but interesting to read. And I was reading lots of different people's works. And then finally, epistemology. In other words, how do we know what we know? And I think Ida Rolf was talented at being able to put forward, a particular view, and so that's really what got me hooked into reading her work, and it really resonated with me. I thought it was very much in line with the way that I was thinking.
And did you ever experience her work on your own body?
Many, many times. I mean,
Many times.
yeah, many, many times. I mean, I'm 65 years of age, and over the years, I always believe that you cannot truly have an opinion on something unless you've actually experienced it. So, for instance, people would say to me, John, what do you think of these five-toe runners? If you've ever seen these shoes where you've got the five toes at the top, I've used them. I don't believe in passing a comment on them unless you actually wear them,
Sure, sure.
can have an experience of them. And the very same with what's affectionately sometimes known as Rolfing, although I believe Ida Rolf did not want it to be called Rolfing. She wanted people to call it structural integration. But I went to several different practitioners, particularly in the New York and Connecticut area in the USA, and experienced Rolfing for myself.
Excellent. So you're coming to our symposium, and when I asked you, you immediately, and I was deeply touched by that. You immediately said yes,
Absolutely. I mean, what
without
a
any
great honor.
hesitation.
It's a huge honor. I mean, if you stop and think about those individuals who have had, a major, significant impact on manual therapy, I mean, Ida Rolf stands out from almost all of them. There are people who contributed, but in many ways they were standing on the shoulders of Ida Rolf. Look at Tom Myers, for example. Tom has written a textbook, I think, that has sold in the millions. And I worked with Tom in the early days before he was famous. And Tom has a beautiful way of describing a narrative. And whose shoulders does he stand upon? Ida Rolf. So, really, I think it's just a huge honor for me to have been invited by you to come and to share my thoughts, my ideas, and my philosophies, my approach to what we might call manual therapy.
Well, Tom might actually be there as a guest of honor, so you may be able to reconnect with him in Prague next year.
Brilliant. I love
It can be
Tom. Tom
anywhere
and
the other
myself
day.
go way, way back. Yeah, we go way, way back.
So tell me something about the workshop you're going to teach and how you think that will benefit practitioners of structural integration.
Well, I'm dyspraxic. Now, being dyspraxic, I've had to try to come to terms with this over the years. I didn't know it in my early years. I didn't discover it until I had my own youngest daughter, Katie, assessed to see if she needed some additional support and help in school. And the people who assessed her, I was present. And of course, by the end of it, they said, by the way, John, you know that you're also dyspraxic. And I was saying, no, I didn't know that. And that means you think a certain way. So what I do is, typical anatomist, I dissect words. I dissect words because words are hugely important to me. Now, Traditionally, fascia is described, for example, in terms of layers. You can cut and you can label in a textbook, but living fascia is not layered. It's an unfolding process. It's an ever-changing field of relationships. And it doesn't just hold us together, it's the medium through which breath, perception, motion, and most importantly, emotion arise and interact. So if we only look at it as a layer, we miss its role as a living continuum that shapes and is shaped by our experience. And I want to bring that to the room. And I want to be able to share something with this specific group of people that I have seldom shared before. It's a particular approach that's taken me about 40 years to develop. And in fact, you don't even place your hands on the body. So we will be transferring force from our body into our patient's body, but we will be doing it in a very, very unique way. So I'm really looking forward to being able to share that with the structural integration community in Europe.
Excellent. I am already greatly looking forward to that seminar. I mean, the whole thing is constructed in a way that you will be able to see everybody else's seminars a
I'm
little
so looking forward to that.
bit,
Absolutely.
and people will come to your seminar. So I
Yeah.
think I hope we will pollinate each other and all learn from the slightly different approaches that every one of us has.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think they're going to be slightly different. I think we're all perhaps maybe singing from the same song sheet.
We likely are, and we're just expressing it in our own unique,
Unique
characteristic
way.
ways. That
Absolutely.
it's John's way, or that it's Alex's way, or
Absolutely.
David's way, or
And an
Gail's.
important point, Alex, is that once people, hear and see what it is that I'm proposing, they will then take it and make it their own. It will not
Exactly.
be the John Sharkey technique, and please don't ever call something like that. I would really dislike that. They will make it their own, and they will make it individual, and then they will be able to do what I could never do.
Right.
It's just amazing, actually, how this translates into individualism.
I'm really again touched by how this resonates with how we teach. You know, we tell our students immediately in the first class, do not copy what your teacher does. Get the idea or get the
Exactly.
intention of what the teacher does, and then figure out a way, an own way of working with that and
Yeah,
explore that. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
going to be, this is going to be a lot of fun next year.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. It's absolutely fantastic. Without sorry if I pick on one person, but Sharon Wheeler, I'm so looking forward to spending a little bit of time with Sharon. And as it happens, I look at the timetable, and I will be off that day when Sharon is teaching. So that gives me the opportunity to be with her in the room. We spent a little bit of time together in New Orleans, and I just think she's a fantastic practitioner. You have a fantastic lineup of practitioners. It's going to be an amazing event.
Thank you.
So please come,
Well,
and hope to see you there.
I'll just say Sharon, Sharon has her own specific, a particular day. So everybody is going to be off on that day because
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
so everybody can come to her presentation because she's been doing this work in Ukraine with the
Yes.
injured soldiers and teaching people how to work with the scars there. And so I think that can be highlighted in such a symposium as a special event. So
Yeah.
we'll all be off there and see what she has to offer.
Brilliant. And that's what so many people in the structural integration world, in the manual therapy world are. They're people who have heart, and they love other human beings. And really what we want to do is we want to bring healing into our communities. So what a great community of people these are. And we'd love to see you at this particular event, which is in, just remind me again, it's June. Is it June or in
It's at the beginning of June,
beginning of June?
30th of May 31st to June 5th.
Absolutely, yeah. Please come and join us.